Welcome to CareyBrosPros, the podcast for construction pros by construction pros. Now, here are James and Morris Carey.
I'm James, and it's great to have you with us on this another edition of CareyBrosPros.
And I'm Morris, and yes, we are professional contractors and brothers.
With so many tools of the trade, you might ask yourself, what's one more company? Well, we have with us at our broadcast location here at the International Builders Show, Kitchen Bath Industry Show in Las Vegas, Richard Kutok, who is the Director of Sales and Marketing of tgtools. And Richard is here to discuss who tgtools is and what makes them different. Richard, welcome to CareyBrosPros.
Well, thank you very much, James. Thank you very much, Morris.
Nice to have you with us.
Nice to have you with us, Richard. So tell us, who or what is tgtools United Company?
Yes.
Is that it?
That is it.
Tell us a little bit about tgtools.
Love to. tgtools United Company, we are the U.S. division of the Jiangguan Tianguan United Company, a Chinese company that is the world's largest drill bit manufacturer.
Wow.
Since 1978, they started actually manufacturing TV antennas.
Wow.
And in 1987, they switched over into manufacturing drill bits. And at any one given time, they employ about 6,500 workers, 172 inspectors and engineers, and it just goes on and on and on.
I'm going to tell you something. I put my fingers on TG bits. They are without a doubt the most razor-sharp bits. James will tell you, I buy the best of everything. I'm not going to live long enough not to enjoy what can be enjoyed.
Especially,
and your bits are so sharp, it's unbelievable.
Especially when it comes to tools. I mean, if you don't have a good, powerful tool,
Right.
and you don't have a sharp cutting device, whether it's a drill bit or a saw blade or what have
Right.
you, you're either going to work yourself to death, you're going to create a safety hazard, or you're going to produce something that is not nearly as good as it could otherwise be.
Right.
Tell us what makes tgtools different than other companies.
Okay, it's quality. In one word, that's what it is. It's
I love
quality.
it. I love it.
It really is. I mean, we manufacture for the majority of the other manufacturers that are out there as an OEM manufacturer.
Oh, really? I
Okay.
didn't know that.
Yes.
You OEM the product.
We OEM for, just mentioned a few, Irwin, Bosch, Hitachi, Milwaukee, okay?
Oh.
But not all their bits we manufacture to their specs. But when it comes to quality, okay, if they say, we want you to lower your quality, then we say, thank you, we're not going to manufacture anymore for you.
Period.
Okay, period. Okay? We have our own standards. So what we have in our what we call our Kick series, which you are talking about, our high-speed brad points, our spades, and our Forstners, okay, those are proprietary to us, to tgtools United Company US.
You know what a high-speed brad point is, don't you?
Yes.
That's with the little chip in the center of the
Yes.
bit to keep it from spinning all around.
From traveling.
Right, from walking. We
Walking,
call it from
right,
walking.
right.
Walking,
Right.
yeah.
We guarantee on our spades, our brad points, and our Forstners, we guarantee that they will never walk.
So you
I
have,
call it Ubering.
Okay. Over.
Richard, you have three primary products. You have the spade or paddle bit,
Right.
you have the Forstner bit,
Correct.
and then you have the
The brad point bit.
brad
The
point
high-speed
bit.
brad point.
Yeah.
Correct.
Now, do I go sharpen these bits from time to time?
Yes, you can.
Okay.
Yes, you can. That's what makes us unique again. That's what makes us different, is that the one thing you can't do is you cannot take our high-speed brad point and put that into a drill doctor.
You can't do that.
Okay, no,
Right.
because of the design, the geometry that we use to manufacture all three of those bits does not allow you to take our high-speed brad point and put it into that drill doctor. It'll turn it into a standard brad point.
And that
Yeah.
won't give me,
And
because
we don't
I know
we
what
don't
it
want
does.
a standard brad point.
It pulls out material, it exhausts material, which gets me to drill and doesn't bind the drill up, which
Right.
is wonderful.
Well, the other thing with the drill doctor is it'll give it 4 cutting edges. We have 6 cutting
Yeah,
edges on the
6.
tip.
Yeah.
Right. The other factor that we do with the high-speed brad point is we sharpen both the inside and the outside of the extrusion flutes, takes the debris out faster, cuts down on heat, allows us to work in wood, plastic, sheet metal, brass, copper, aluminum, and some stainless without having to change that bit.
Richard, that must be a really elaborate sharpening device. Do you offer that? Is that on the market for?
There's no device needed, actually. We give you instructions on every time you purchase either a set, or you can go to our website and watch a animation as to how to sharpen it yourself.
Wow.
Okay, you can use a wheel or you can use a file. It's not hard, believe me. Or there's companies all over the country that have learned how to sharpen our bits.
Okay.
So you can send it out and do it.
Okay.
It's not like some of those where you have to send them in and let them sharpen it and then they send them back to you.
Okay.
Okay. We've had customers that, have said, listen, these are so easy to sharpen, I can do it in 20 minutes.
I have to tell you, one of the problems, the traditional problems with the Forstner bit is that the material that you're cutting gets clogged in
Correct.
below the bit and makes it really quite difficult and often dangerous.
Right.
And your Forstner bit
Is an open bit.
is an open bit. Talk
Correct.
a little bit about that, Richard.
Okay. 9 cutting edges on it. Okay. Totally open-ended. The design and the geometry, again, that we use on that, everything starts at the point. Okay, so we start at the point, it takes out the circumference, and then it takes out the center point. All right, it can mill, drill, route, channel, cut, and bore.
Because it's open.
Because it is open, right.
Yeah.
And again, because of the geometry,
Right.
It does a curved path. All right. The other unique thing about it is that no other bit can do is that we can literally set it up so the point is right on the edge of the material you're working on and go right down the edge and give you a perfect cut all the way down. And you can also follow a pipe or a cable that you need to. I mean, it's unbelievable. And people just say, well, you do this all the time. I just take and I put the drill in their hand and say, okay,
Here, you do
go.
it.
You do it.
That's what you do with us.
Right. I mean, yeah. I mean, the pros love it.
I want to know about the paddle bit. I call it a paddle bit.
Sure.
You calls it a paddle bit. I calls it a spade bit.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. That's a line out of Sling Blade, by the way.
Right.
Okay. So what's different about your spade bit?
The W design that we have.
That's it.
There's no what we call tang on the point.
A regular paddle bit looks like that.
Correct. Exactly. And all a regular paddle bit or spade, all it does is rip material.
His bit looks like this.
Yes, it does.
Okay?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And it gives you 30% more cutting surface, okay, literally. And it's much faster. It's made out of CRV40 chrome vanadium steel, okay? It has a little bit of flex to it, okay? It has a memory. So what happens is when you want to turn it, make a curved path or follow something with it, you just put pressure on it, okay? It won't break.
Wow.
Okay? That's the difference between us and everybody else. I've had the pros come to us and say, okay, yeah, sure. And they've pulled out their spade, okay, a regular paddle bit, and say, hey, listen, I can do that. And as soon as they try, snap. Okay,
wow.
It'll go. So that's the main difference. The other thing is we put a hex shank on it. So it won't, there's no, it's
It
got
isn't gonna
great
spin.
torque. It's
Yeah.
not going to spin.
Yeah, it's not gonna
exactly.
spin. Yeah.
And we also put what we call a fisheye on the actual spade part of it. So if you go through and you want to connect the cable and pull it back out, you can. Now, where we're from, out of the Chicago area, there's basements, right?
Right.
Okay. So what a guy has to do today is he goes down from the kitchen, drills down to the basement, then he's got to go down to the basement and try to match that, okay? If they buy our 13-inch, which has a longer reach, all he goes is starts at the kitchen, curves it, okay, runs his pipe down there, and he's done. He doesn't have to find anything.
Richard, where can our pro audience listening find your product?
We are in hardware stores across the country. Ace Hardware stores, True Value stores. We're in independents.
Lumberyards.
Lumberyards across the country as well. They can find us on all of the major websites across the country, Amazon, shoplighter.com. There's so many of them, it's hard to
Wonderful.
All right, Richard. It's the time in the Carey Bros Pros podcast where we ask you what our audience should take away from your success. What are your 3 tips for success?
Okay. Number 1, don't go cheap. Don't buy something that they're going to buy it and it's going to break and they're going to just continue to spend more money. Spend the money, buy the quality products, okay? Whether it be our product or whether it be a hammer, or it doesn't make any difference. Make it a quality product so it's going to stay with them. In today's marketplace, it used to be, especially with drill bits, they buy the drill bits in bulk, they put them in their pouch, they get dull, they flip it over their shoulder, and they take another one. They don't do that today.
This is an investment.
It is an investment, exactly. Okay. Number 2, I think what they need to do here is, especially with our products, is make sure that they're using the right bit for the right job. And with us, because they're multifunctional, okay, they don't have to have a bit for every part of the job.
I love that.
Okay?
I love that.
And that's the main feature of our multifunctional drill bits. Okay? And third is pricing. Okay? I mean, if someone was to go out and buy a regular spade bit and they price it against our spade, we're equal or better than they are. So, I mean, that's the key.
Now, that's what I call 3 points for success.
Right.
No pun intended on points.
Gotcha.
All right. Our thanks to our friend Richard Kutok. He is the Director of Sales and Marketing of tgtools United Company. Thanks, Richard, for joining us on this episode of Carey Bros Pros, and you may learn more about tgtools products at mytgtools.com.
Looking for more information about our guest or for more podcasts, videos, and articles? Just check out our website at CareyBrosPros.com.
Thank you, Richard.
My pleasure, gentlemen. Thank you very much.
Okay, everybody, hold on to your hard hats. It's time for a quick bro tip from the Carey brothers.
We learned a long time ago to measure twice and cut once. We also learned that you should never cut with a dull blade. The same holds true with any cutting instrument: saw blades of all kinds, chisels, drill bits, hole saws, scrapers, shears, and utility knives. Essentially, anything that's designed to cut. Beyond producing superior results, sharp blades make a job easier and safer. Dull blades require more energy and typically produce gouging or splintering. Cutting with a dull blade can also feel like pushing a wheelbarrow uphill instead of like a hot knife through butter, as is the case with a sharp blade. Cutting tools can cause all sorts of injuries, and some quite serious. Before putting a cutting tool in the hands of an employee or fellow worker, be sure that he or she has been checked out on how to properly use the tool. Make certain that they understand the do's and especially the don'ts of tool use, care, and maintenance. A well-maintained tool will perform a whole lot better and last infinitely longer than one which has been abused or poorly maintained. And although you want to keep your tools in service for as long as possible, know when it's time to retire a tool that's no longer safe or isn't capable of producing the most professional results. Sharp blades produce sharp results and keep tool-toting pros happy.
Well, that's our podcast for today. Thanks for listening to this edition of Carey Bros Pros, the podcast for construction professionals by construction professionals. Want more? Check out CareyBrosPros.com. You'll find articles and videos to help make your business a success.